Hello friends, neighbors, John, your neighbor here. Welcome down the Nook. Welcome to Saturday. And it's another peat week here. Last week we did a whole bunch of Lefroy Carchus, thanks James. And today we're going to do Kilchoman. Again, thanks James. He came by with a few of these Kilchoman bottles. There's another one yet to go. And I thought, it's rainy. I didn't get to do any of the yard work I wanted today. And so let's relax and get some good peat going on. Maybe in anticipation of a good Oilers game tonight. So I'm going to first talk about this one. It's Fino Sherry. It's the 2023 release. So it's been aged entirely in Fino Sherry cask, but I think it's still pretty young. And then we'll also talk about this cask strength. This is Kilchoman Machir Bay, but their cask strength, which I actually haven't had before. So, you know, we'll start at 50, we'll go to 58%. It's all Islay, it's all beautiful, beautiful peat. So if you've got anything from Kilchoman or anything off the island, why don't you pour a dram of some nice peated sherry and come on back. 3, 4. Thanks for coming back. As I said in the opener, we're going to talk Kilchoman. Wonderful, full peated Islay Scotch. I'm going to start with this Fino Sherry release. I just saw a video with Anthony, the founder of Kilchoman, and he had gone down to Spain to talk through with the person there, and I can't remember his name. Sorry about the sherry cask and whatnot. And it's a couple of minutes. It's worth a watch. It was just beautiful. And I think everything when I talk about Kilchoman just feels craft and slightly artistic. I don't know what it is. I haven't been there. One day I hope to. But I've always been a fan of Kilchoman. Now, I haven't had a lot of Fino Sherry releases. So it's going to be a challenge for me to really pick out a characteristic Fino note. But this is, as they all are, natural color, non-chill filter. This one's, I think, 50%. And, you know, Kilchomans are probably around that 50 parts per million. So these are full peated drams. This one is aged entirely in ex-sherry, but it's likely young. I think it might even say 5 years on the back. So let's give this a nose, taste, see where it goes. You know, it's rich, it's sweet, it's citrusy. There's a peat smoke coming up now, but right now it's not ashy and dry. It might get there, but the nose right now is sweet and smoldering, a little bit vegetable, a little bit citrusy. Very light and bright fruits. I'm trying to think of what it is. Not quite tropical, but something like a really sweet fruit. Yep. All right, maybe if I dig into it and kind of splash it around, it'll help me more with the nose. So let's get in on the palate. To your health, Sláinte. Up front, I'm coming in off that nose. I've got like some nice crisp apple, sweet light fruit, bit of nice sweet almond, and then the body, the bracing, the full peat just kind of washes back. So it's like, I don't know, it was a full experience across that palate because now it has full on peated. And when that, I even has a little bit more toward the Lefroy medicinal, just a little bit. It's got a little bit of brine, a little bit of iodine going on in with that full peat. It's finishing a little bit dry, a little bit ashy now, a little bit, burnt tobacco. So I better try another sip. Sláinte. Second sip established this as a full peated dram. I'm definitely now always in peat. I'm always next door to the campfire. I have already also smoked a cigar. Like it's got quite a bit of dry ash smoke that stays with me now through the full experience. It's odd because the nose didn't go there for me. The nose was fresh and sweet and light apple or high, almost tropical fruit, nutty, maybe a sweet almond, like a really, not a bitter, like not a walnut, not that kind of thing. I've said the term sweet one too many times, but it definitely has that. But as you stay in it, it is a full peated dram. It is a full Islay peat this, like even just this little splash here might last for quite a while, because it really does feel like we're right up against that fire and we're getting a lot of good smoke and ash coming off there. It's going to be interesting how it compares to this cask strength, because it's been a while since I've had a Kilchoman, and right now it's finishing much drier than I remember. So we'll see how it goes in comparison to Machir Bay, which I have had, but not the cask strength. Let's talk about this Machir Bay, but the cask strength. This one that James dropped off is the 2021 edition, so it's actually an older edition because the Fino was at 2023. Having said that, it might even have some older Scotch because it's part of their core range. Machir Bay has more bourbon than sherry, but it's their bourbon sherry cask mix. Another core range would be the Sanic, which has a bit more sherry in the bourbon sherry cask mix. So this is 58.3%. So we've gone up from 50. Of course, it's natural color non-chill filter, and I will say they are similar in color. Really similar, which is interesting because this is more bourbon and this is only sherry, but I suspect the whiskeys going into this might be a little bit older. Let's try this Machir Bay 2021 cask strength. Definitely getting more, I was going to say vanilla cookie, like vanilla and maltiness. Yeah, this remains sweet and light on the nose, but the palate was not faint. Yep, this I'm gonna say has a little more malt breadth. It has so I'm getting more aromatic vanillas. Got to be from those bourbon casks, but it also, I don't know, it has a little more breadth in the nose. Let's try it on the palate. Sláinte. I'm going to have to come back to this even on a follow-up set, because now I'm in full peat. I was saying that here, but here, even on first sip, this is, sure, I've got some nice vanilla, slight caramel kicking around, all that bourbon cask goodness, but right away, this is the full peat. This is full on hollow. It's got to be at least 50, but I'm just feeling it. It is campfire, ash, peat. It's a little bit medicinal, not as much as Lefroy, but it's absolutely there. I would expect you to get that. For other flavor notes, this one is a little more walnut, less sweet almond. It's a little more ginger, a little more orange rind, not bright lemon like this one. Chase down some other notes. Maybe another quick sip. Sláinte. Just as I said, a little more, walnut, but kind of a bit bitter. Not this one is a little bit more bitter, a little bit more oak, a little bit more ash, a little bit more all of those things. I'm gonna clear my palate and come right back to this Fino, because now, in contrast, I'm curious. Sorry for all the cuts. I'm just gonna come back to this Fino. Now I'm enjoying the nose a little bit more. Now it's lighter at 50%. Now I have to say that is an amazing contrast coming back. Of course, I've come off of 58, gone down to 50. That is a serious, 16 proof, 8% alcohol drop. Now, this is actually almost creamy, composed to the aggressive nature here. And that is not the way I described it to you just moments ago. Now, sure, there's all that peat and all the goodness that I've mentioned, but now this is sweeter and lighter and a little bit more fruity and almost creamy, whereas this is full-on peat strength. It's huggy, it's slightly bitter, not in a bad way, but it's got a lot of that with a little bit of vanilla, cookie dough, ginger, maybe coconut. I don't think so, but from some other casking. That was a great ride. Thank you for staying here with me. Thank you, James, for bringing these bottles. I just want to say for a second, I've been on for a while with you guys and it's always a good time, but I've never had a Patreon. And the biggest reason is I just can't do anymore. And I always feel like Patreon is like, well, if you are a Patreon, I've got to give you more. And I can hardly get these done to find time. And so it's really nice when someone like James just comes around and says, hey, John, here's some whiskey. Why don't you enjoy? Talk about it if you want. So thank you, James, and to all the other people that have brought me whiskey or helped me in any other ways. Just hats off. And if you just tuned in and you're still here at the very end, why don't you subscribe? Thank you. You guys have a great weekend.